we went through a little bit about shaking hands, but I'm going to hit it again harder. The whole chapter in Date Young Women about on shaking hands and why it's such a big, important deal. In our culture, you're not allowed to touch her until she touches you, but you can shake hands with her. And when you shake hands with her, you're touching her. She's touching you. So that's a little bit of a, doors open a little bit for further touching, but you definitely have to start there. The main reason I like it is because you get to feel on an emotional level, not a logical level, how she's reacting to you, okay? She'll give you a yes handshake, a no handshake, a maybe handshake, and a business handshake. Yes, no, maybe, and business. And you have to learn to identify them because that's going to tell you instantly whether you're wasting your time or not. If you don't get at least a maybe handshake, get some ice for your drink and go talk to some other people. Thou shalt talk at her level. All that means is don't talk over her head like your college professor, and don't talk down to her like you're her daddy and you're explaining things to her. Never, never, never. She knows she can understand anything you can understand if you explain it properly and take your time. Don't talk down to her. And it's better not to explain anything. It's better to not be smarter than her. It's better not to act smarter than her. She knows you are. She knows you have more experience, but you don't show off. Don't prove how brilliant you are. Thou shalt radiate no lust. Well, guys get confused about this because I'm always saying you gotta let lust show in your eyes a half a second at a time now and then. But the rest of it is you can't be standing there going, oh my God, look at the rack. Oh, I wonder if those nipples are bigger. Oh my God. Oh, look at her ass when she walks away. You can't do that because every other girl in here is watching you watch her. Can't look at her with lust, except briefly and flashes in your eye. And that's it. Okay. Thou shalt laugh appropriately. This is a big deal. When guys are first learning this and are getting a chance to talk to girls, they get so happy that they laugh at every stupid little thing. Don't do that. That's what boys do. Act like a man. Laugh appropriately. That means if it's a good joke, you laugh. If it's a clever comment, you laugh, but that's about it. You don't laugh at every little thing she says or does. Oh, along those lines, humor is very dangerous. Don't tell jokes. The reason you don't tell her a joke is because she might not get it and then she thinks you're an idiot. Okay? Not that she doesn't get the joke, she thinks you're stupid for telling her a joke she doesn't get. Don't do that. Don't be a clown. Thou shalt remain adult. What that means is if you try to be young, you try to be hip, you try to use slang that teenagers use and young men use, don't do it. Use your own language. Be yourself. Be different. She wants an adult. She's never had an adult. She's seen movies where the men just put their fucking cock to somebody and make them scream with joy. And her best sexual experience is one pop and flop. Maybe Jimmy can keep going for 2 minutes some nights, but not very often. Thou shalt genuinely compliment once. This is a big, gigantic fucking deal. This says I see you and they don't. Okay, when you notice that necklace and you say something about it, oh, that looks like an heirloom. My grandma had something like that. That's very, very unusual, nice. And she might tell you about it. A ring, a watch. I met this girl who had this little tiny watch. It was shaped like a triangle, smaller than my little fingernail, and it was just as cute as it could be. It was expensive, but it was nice. And I said something about it, and she just wiggled all over. Okay. Don't compliment her on her pretty eyes, her beautiful hair, her lovely complexion, those big kissable lips, none of that. Don't compliment her on anything she didn't do, didn't earn, not her body. You can compliment on her how well she handled some customers or how she handled the dick from accounting. That's fine. But you can't compliment her on her physical attributes, all right? That they don't feel they've earned them. They just were born with them. The other thing I teach and preach is give her a I see you gift. I see you gift. I see you. I know who you are. I know what you like. I know what kind of a person you are. And it has to be cheap. It has to be inexpensive, rather. Can't be $50. Worst case nowadays, 30. And for example, there's this cute little girl I like, cashier at the restaurant where I go now and then. She's always dressing in black, and we've been flirting, eyes flirting and talking. And the tip-off, she says, "Do you live around here?" That's left over from the 50s. "You from around here?" Yeah. So I said, "Yes, I am. I live right uptown Whittier." She said, "Oh, that's nice. I go up there on Friday nights." So now I can see that we've got something going. So she's always dressed in black. So I said, "You'd be a good Raider fan. You need a t-shirt that says Raiders." So she smiled. She didn't say anything. A couple of days later, I gave her a Raiders t-shirt. Next day I came in, she had it on. All right. That means I see you. Now she's proud. She's got a $35 Raider t-shirt. Okay. That's the kind of see you gift. Gary was courting this girl who was a Seattle's Mariners fan. And he was on a trip to Washington, and he bought her Seattle's Mariners hat. And he gave it to her. She was just happy as she could be, and they went on to have a good affair. What it means is I see you and they don't. I'm special. I'm different. I see you and they don't. Now this requires some care and thinking. No, you can't just buy her anything that anybody would buy her. You have to understand what she said. Okay, 1 through 4 are mandatory. Thou shalt be slim and trim. Thou shalt be well groomed, dressed right. Thou shalt smell good. You can't break any of those. A moderately well-acted imitation of 5 will work in the beginning. Be relaxed and confident. With only a bit of practice, 6, thou shalt shake hands and smile. With 6 is easy. Remember I told you that if you have a female friend, have her give you a yes, no, and a maybe handshake. And a sales handshake. Yes, no, maybe in business. Have her show you the difference until you get that. That's number 6. Number 7, let's see. Number 7, thou shalt talk at her level. If you talk over her head or talk down to her, you can just skip every fucking thing else from there. She doesn't want a professor. She doesn't want daddy. She doesn't want somebody who's going to try to impress her every fucking day. None of that. Be like her. You just happen to have a dick and she doesn't, okay? All right. Breaking 8 is fatal 99% of the time. Want to guess what number 8 is? Thou shalt radiate no lust. You're just trying to fuck me. I've heard that twice. And finally I got the message. Don't be so obvious. Yes, I am trying to fuck you. Breaking 8 is fatal 99% of the time. 8A. This is one that doesn't appear on the list. Thou shalt steal no glances at her cleavage or those perky tits or her ass when she's walking away. Don't even sneak a peek. They can see you doing everything. Number 9. Thou shalt remain adult. If you're into macho, 9 is hard to obey. Drop the Jason Statham act. Laughing at yourself is even better. Commandment 10 simply forbids acting young and hip. 11 is hard for introverts. Focus on her. It's giving her a compliment. Focus on her and what she has on. Zero in on one thing you sincerely admire and tell her. Jewelry, shoes, purse, scarf are the best, not her eyes or her beautiful face. It says once, and I mean once. Don't compliment her more than one time during any conversation, but always compliment her once. See something that other people don't notice. Remember I mentioned about the girl changing her hair all the time? Acknowledge it. She wants somebody to notice, and you're it. Okay, that's court her. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around. If you remember, the Gantt chart was on the wall here behind me. Up at the top, the first third of the Gantt chart is mental health. There's a little slim thing in the middle, physical health, and the rest is all dating skills. So we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to get your mind right, mental health. If you don't do that, nothing. Everything else on these videos is not going to do you one fucking bit of good. You got to have your shit together. And that's how you get it. you get your shit together by liking yourself. And there's some books that are very helpful in that, some videos, and also some tapes. Well, they're not tapes anymore. CDs or downloads. Boy, am I old tapes. Okay, this is Don Steele. I'm out. Watch the crawl of all the commandments of courtship, and the next one will be get your mind right. Okay, this Don Steele is out.